Then the sutta also says these 4 conditions for stream entry, when developed and cultivated, lead to the realization of the fruit of stream entry, Sottapatti Phala. In other words, if you keep practicing these 4 conditions, that path will turn to fruit in the same lifetime. You become a Sotapanna. Yeah. And then in the Sutta 55.40, the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha says, if a person, if the 4 conditions for stream entry are completely and totally absent in a person, that person is not a follower of the Buddha. Not a Buddhist. He's actually an external sect follower. So if you don't listen to the Buddha suttas, the Buddha says you are not his follower. You are following some other religion. Why? Because the Buddha thinks it is so important that the Buddha called all the monks savaka, all the nuns savaka, all the laymen savaka, all the lay women followers savaka. Savaka means listeners or hearers, senwen. So only if you listen to the Buddha's earliest discourses, you are considered a Buddhist. If not, you are not a Buddhist at all. Because one day you call yourself a Buddhist, we find many people after 10 years or so, they change their religion. They don't have that solid faith because of not understanding. But when you understand the Dhamma, your faith is not blind faith. Your faith is based on understanding. Okay, now I will give you a few examples in the suttas and the Vinaya that shows it is not so difficult for stream entry. In the Sarakani Sutta 55.24, there was a Sakyan by the name of Sarakani who had just passed away, and then they asked the Buddha, where was Sarakani reborn? And he said, Sarakani has gone for a rebirth, for a good rebirth. He was already a Sotapanna. So the news spread. But when some people heard it, they were very unhappy. They said, this Sarakani is a drinker, he likes to drink liquor. He cannot even keep his 5 precepts. If he can be a Sotapanna, we are all Sotapanna already because we keep the 5 precepts. So the news came back to the Buddha. The Buddha said, Sarakani has taken refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha for a long time. Why can't he be a Sotapanna? In other words, he has listened to the Buddha for a long time already, has understood the Dhamma. Then the Buddha said something very surprising. The Buddha said, you look at these big trees. If I were to teach the Dhamma to these trees and they can understand what I say, even the trees can become Sotapanna. Why can't Sarakani become Sotapanna? Yeah? So you all have a good chance to be a Sotapanna. So the Buddha did not say, if I taught the trees meditation, they can become a Sotapanna. It is not by meditation that you become a Sotapanna, it's by hearing the Dhamma. Before the Buddha was enlightened in India, there were a lot of yogis who practiced very hard to end suffering. They meditated so well, some of them had psychic powers, but you could not find a single Arya. It's only when the Buddha started teaching that Aryans appeared by the thousands, tens of thousands. Then, in the Vinaya books, one of the Buddha's disciples is one of those who like to meditate, not interested in the Dhamma, not interested in the Sutta. Devadatta was his name. When the Buddha taught the Dhamma, he would not pay attention. There is a sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya where the Buddha scolded one of the monks. He said, I notice every time I teach the Dhamma, you don't pay attention. Like a small boy. So, Devadatta was one of those. Because he was very ambitious, wanted to get psychic power. So he meditated so hard, he had psychic powers. And because he had psychic powers, the Prince Ajatasattu was very fascinated by him. Became a fervent disciple. So, one day, this Devadatta, he saw the Buddha was very old already. He asked the Buddha to step down. He said, let him take the Buddha's place. And the Buddha scolded him in front of all the monks. Said, I never asked Sariputta or Moggallana to take my place. You want to take my place. Scolded him very badly in front of all the monks. He got so angry, he wanted to kill the Buddha. So he tried several ways to kill the Buddha. But of course, once he had the intention to kill the Buddha, he lost all his psychic powers, or lost all his jhana. Because he did not have right view. So he asked this Prince Ajatasattu to give him some men to do some work. So the prince told several men to do whatever Devadatta asked us to do. So he called the first man. He said, you go to this forest where Samana Gautama is. You go and kill him and come back by this road. So this man went. After this man had gone, he called two men. He told the two men, when this man comes back by this road, you kill him and come back by another road. Then he asked 4 to kill the 2, asked 8 to kill the 4, asked 16 to kill the 8. So that it would be difficult to trace who gave the orders. So the first man went off, and then he came to where the Buddha was. He saw the Buddha sitting there waiting for him. Then he got a shock. This guilty feeling. He knew must be the Buddha knows what he's up to. So he put his weapons down and confessed to the Buddha. He had no intention to kill, but he was ordered to do so. The Buddha said, never mind, you sit down. I will teach you the Dhamma. But Buddha taught him the Dhamma. He attained stream entry. And the Buddha said, you don't go back by that road. 2 people waiting to kill you. Run off another way. So he left, and then the other 2 waited, could not wait. They came to where the Buddha was. Same thing. They saw the Buddha, they got frightened. Buddha also asked them to sit down, taught them the Dhamma. 2 also attained stream entry. 4 came also attained. 8 came also attained. 16 came also attained. Such people can attain. Surely we all can attain, isn't it? So that is another clear case. And then there was another time in the Vinaya books where the Buddha converted 1,000 Jatilas, matted hair ascetics. They became his monk disciples. And then after that, the Buddha preached to them one discourse, and they all became Arahants. Then the Buddha brought them to Rajagaha to see King Bimbisara. And King Bimbisara threw a big lunch dana for all of them and asked the people of Rajagaha to come up and see the Arahants. It was very rare to see Arahants. So, according to the Vinaya books and the suttas, 120,000 people came. So many. After lunch, the Buddha spoke to all of them, and all of them attained stream entry. And then another occasion in the Vinaya books, 80,000 people came to see the Buddha. First time they saw the Buddha. The Buddha preached to them the 4 Aryan truths, basically on impermanence. And because of impermanence, it gives us suffering. And impermanence also implies non-self. Nothing that is permanent in the world. Everything is changing like a flux of energy. Never stands still. So, they also, 80,000 also attained stream entry. So, some people when they hear this Bhante simply say, listening to Dhamma can attain stream entry. They are not happy. They say, during the Buddha's time is different. The Buddha is a Sammasambuddha. When he speaks, he has psychic powers people can understand. Is it true? Not necessarily, because they didn't study enough. In the Vinaya books, Sariputta and Moggallana, they were external sect ascetics, following, I think, the Samana Sanjiva, I think. So, one day, Sariputta went on alms round, Pindapata. And then he saw this Venerable Asaji, one of the first 5 Arahants, on alms round. And when he saw Venerable Asaji, he was taken back because Venerable Asaji looked so calm and the face was so serene and bright, totally different from other monks. So he went to Venerable Asaji and asked Venerable Asaji, Bhante, who's your teacher? He thought if the disciple is like that, the teacher must be greater. Who's your master? And what does he teach? So Venerable Asaji had just been an Arahant. Venerable Asaji said, I've just become a monk under my teacher. I don't know very much Dhamma. Then Venerable Sariputta said, doesn't matter little or much, you just tell me what you know. Then Venerable Asaji said, my teacher teaches like this. Chinese we say 诸法因缘生, 诸法因缘灭. Yeah? All dhammas arise from conditions. All dhammas cease from conditions. So Venerable Sariputta is a very sharp person. When he heard that, he understood everything in the world arises from conditions. And because of conditions, they all cease. It's not like somebody created everything in the world. So he saw impermanence. Everything arises and ceases. He attained stream entry, right view. Then he found out where the Buddha was and all this. Then very happily he left and went to see Moggallana. Moggallana saw him also, thought he looked different, and asked him what happened. And then he told Venerable Moggallana the same thing. And Venerable Moggallana also attained stream entry. So you see, in the case of Sariputta, he did not hear it from the Buddha. He heard from an Arahant. Still can attain stream entry. And then in the case of Moggallana, he did not even hear it from an Arahant. He heard it from a stream enterer. Person who has just attained stream entry, if he teaches you the right Dhamma, you also can attain. Not necessarily Buddha. Yeah? So now ada chance. Once a person becomes a Sotapanna, there are 4 characteristics. He has unshakable faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. He never changed his religion. And he has the Aryan precepts. What are the Aryan precepts? The Aryan precepts are found in the Aryan Eightfold Path. There are 3 factors that constitute Sila. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood. If you investigate this, these 3 factors, you find there are 7 precepts. 3 body precepts, 4 verbal precepts. Not to kill, not to take what is not given, that is not to steal, not to engage in sexual misconduct. Verbal, not to lie, not to engage in divisive speech, not to engage in coarse or vulgar speech. And the 4th is not to engage in idle gossip. So these are the 7 precepts. If you can uphold these 7 precepts, you have a chance to become an Arya. Also, once a person becomes a Sotapanna, he has a maximum of 7 lives left. So because of only 7 lives left, he has very little suffering. Because if you don't attain stream entry, you'll be going around the round of rebirths endlessly. Because the Buddha said, there's no end to samsara. There's no end to time. So in the long cycle of samsara, you will fall into the ghost realm countless times. You will be an animal countless times. You go to hell countless times. So once you become a Sotapanna, the suffering remaining is very little. Also because once you become an Arya, your blessings is very great. Very great. So the 3rd Bojjhanga, after you practice Sati and Dhamma Vichaya, you should attain stream entry. You should attain right view. After that, you practice Virya, energetic effort. And then that is the 3rd Bojjhanga. The 4th one is Piti. Piti is synonymous with the 1st jhana. The 5th Bojjhanga is Passaddhi, tranquility. Tranquility is synonymous with the 2nd jhana. The 6th Bojjhanga is Samadhi, concentration, synonymous with the 3rd jhana. The 7th Bojjhanga is Upekkha, equanimity, which is synonymous with the 4th jhana. So the last 4 Bojjhangas are the 4 jhanas, which is right concentration. And you get that by practicing samatha. Samatha is calming the mind. Vipassana is contemplation. So in Chinese we say samatha vipassana is chirguan, stilling the mind and contemplation. Now, in the Majjhima Nikaya, this you see, after you get right view, it says you have to put forth effort. And then after you put forth effort, you get the 4 jhanas. What is this putting forth effort? In where? How to put forth effort? This is not explained here. So we have to go to some other sutta to find out. That is why it's very important to study many suttas. If you just study 1 or 2 suttas, you don't get a clear picture. You are like the 4 blind men asked to say what an elephant looks like. So one blind man touched the leg of the elephant. He said the elephant is just like a coconut tree. The second one touched the tail, which was moving. He said the elephant is just like a fan. Another one touched the body, solid. He said the elephant is just like a wall. Another one touched the nose. He said the elephant is just like a pipe. So you see, if you only know certain suttas, each sutta tells you the truth from one angle. So you need many suttas to show you the truth from different angles. Then you get an overall picture, right? That's why, like in this Majjhima Nikaya 43, it is said that after you get right view, you have to practice 5 other factors to attain liberation. 5 other factors. First one is sila, moral conduct or keeping your precepts. The second one is Dhamma Savana, listening to the Dhamma. The third is Dhamma Sakacha, discussion of the Dhamma. The fourth is Samatha. The fifth is Vipassana. So if you practice Samatha, you'll end up with the 4 jhanas. That takes care of the 4 jhanas. So in between, what else do you need to practice is Sila, Dhamma Savana, Dhamma Sakacha, and Vipassana. And what is this Sila? Now we refer again to the Aryan Eightfold Path. In the explanation of the Aryan Eightfold Path, in the Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 117, it is said there is only one way to practice the Aryan Eightfold Path. You must enter the Aryan Eightfold Path by right view, the first factor, not any other factor. Some people don't understand. Right view, you must get from listening to the Dhamma. Some people practice the last factor first. They meditate. There's the Topeng Liao, Tian Tao Liao. You can only enter the Aryan Eightfold Path through right view. And then this Majjhima Nikaya Sutta says, after you get right view, it brings you to right thoughts. And then after that, it will bring you to right speech, and then right action, then right livelihood, then right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These factors follow naturally. So how come? You see, once you get right view, you get rid of your wrong views. You get rid of your wrong prejudices. You get rid of your wrong thoughts. So you will naturally have right thoughts. And then that will bring you to right speech. Why? Because before you can talk, you must think. Think only you can speak. So if you have right thoughts, then you will naturally have right speech. And because of right view and right thoughts, you will also have right action. You won't harm other living beings. And because of that, you will have right livelihood. You don't harm other living beings through your thought, through your speech, through your action. You will have right livelihood. So you see, once you get right view, these 4 other factors follow quite naturally. Right? If you understand the Dhamma. Then after that, you have to put forth effort, right effort and right mindfulness. This right effort and right mindfulness is Vipassana. Chinese we say Nei Quan. And it's something you practice in everyday life, not in meditation. Nowadays, they talk about Vipassana meditation. It's not the Buddha's teaching. Vipassana meditation was created later. The Buddha's teaching is only Samatha, because in the Majjhima Nikaya, Venerable Ananda was asked what type of meditation is praised by the Buddha. And he said first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. Only this is Buddhist meditation. And then he said the type of meditation that is not praised by the Buddha is the type of meditation, if you practice, it does not cut the 5 hindrances, does not eliminate the 5 hindrances. But you find in some other sutta that only jhanas can eliminate the 5 hindrances. Long term. Short term is by concentrating your mind when listening to the Dhamma. So Vipassana is what we practice out of meditation. When you sit down with your legs crossed, you should only practice Samatha. And when you are not in meditation, you put your attention on your body, feelings, mind and Dhamma. And why do you need to practice right effort and right mindfulness? Because you need to, these two together is development of character. Okay, so this right effort and right mindfulness. If you want to practice right effort, you must also practice right mindfulness. They come together. Yeah. And the purpose of vipassana is to get rid of unwholesome states and to develop wholesome states. Because the Buddha says unwholesome states bring you down, bring you to woeful planes of rebirth, to the ghost realm, animal and hell realm. And wholesome states bring you up to heaven, to human rebirth. What are unwholesome states? Greed and lust, anger and hatred, arrogance and pride, deceitful and cunning, shameless, lazy, selfish, ungrateful, disrespectful, unmindful. All these are unwholesome qualities. And wholesome qualities are generosity, kindness, compassion, humility, honest and straightforward, diligent, morally upright, mindful, etc. So we have to make effort to cultivate these wholesome states and get rid of unwholesome states. And as we do that now, our character develops. That's why it's called development of character. And when you practice samatha, you develop your mind, because when you attain the jhanas, you get rid of the 5 hindrances. 5 hindrances obstruct us a lot, give us a lot of mental suffering. And some people, when their hindrances are very strong, sometimes you see in the newspaper, an old man raping the granddaughter because his sensual desire overwhelms his mind, enslaves the mind. He cannot control himself. And some people, the anger is so strong, when they get into an argument, they kill somebody. So these 5 hindrances are great obstructions. But when you attain samadhi, they are pushed down to a low degree, where there are no more obstructions. It's not that they are not there anymore, they are still there. But they become so little that they are not obstructions. So I like to give a simile of the lalang. You know, lalang is a tall grass. Suppose you were walking in the jungle and in front of you 7-8 feet tall lalang. It's a big obstruction because you can't see the tiger hiding behind the lalang. And then as you walk through the lalang, it cuts your face, cuts your hands and all that. Yeah. But if you cut it down to 12 inches, it is no more an obstruction. It is still there, 12 inches. Yeah. So in the same way, if we attain the first jhana, it's like the lalang cut down to 12 inches. It's no more an obstruction. It's still there. And then when you attain the second jhana, it's like the lalang has cut down to 8 inches. When you attain the third jhana, it's like 4 inches. When you attain the fourth jhana, it becomes 1 millimeter. So little. That's why the Buddha praised the fourth jhana. The Buddha says when a person attains the fourth jhana, the mind is so still that the breathing stops. And then when he comes out of the fourth jhana, if he walks, he's like walking in heaven. If he sits, he's like sitting in heaven. If he lies down, he's like in heaven. And the mind is so clear. The Buddha says if a person attains the fourth jhana, the mindfulness is perfectly pure, parisuddhi, perfectly pure. So pure that when he comes out of the fourth jhana, he can remember his past lives. 10 lives, 100 lives, 1,000 lives, hundreds and thousands of lives he can remember. But there is a monk who doesn't understand, and he says, what is the use of jhana? When you attain jhana, you have no mindfulness. Because he studied the Abhidhamma so much, he's not familiar with the suttas. So the Buddha said, disrespect for samadhi is one of the factors that cause the disappearance of the true Dhamma. Nowadays, some people look down on samadhi, they think it's not necessary. Very necessary because only with samadhi you get a very clear mind. So here you can see the third Bojjhanga, when you say put forth effort, is upholding your sila, which comes naturally after you get right view. But the two other things are very important here is Dhammasavana and Dhammasakacha. Listening to the original Dhamma and discussing the original Dhamma. So before you got right view, to get right view, you have to listen to the true Dhamma to get right view. And after you get right view, to become an Arahant, you still have to listen to the true Dhamma and discuss the true Dhamma to understand. In addition to practicing Samatha and Vipassana. So you can see how important knowledge of the true Dhamma is. You don't have a good knowledge of the true Dhamma, you cannot become even the lowest Arya. That's why you find the Buddha's disciples, during the daytime, they after they go on alms round, come back, eat their food, then they spend the time meditating. Every night, they come together and discuss the Dhamma. These are the two pillars of spiritual practice: listening to the original suttas and meditation to clear the mind. Because the clearer your mind is, the more easily you can understand. When we practice samatha meditation, we train our mind to focus on one object. It's something the mind does not like to do. The mind likes to go out and play, out to the six senses and play. But we don't allow it. We always bring it back to our breath, keep pulling back. So we train our mind to focus. That's very important. You train your mind to focus so that when you listen to the Dhamma, your mind will naturally focus. It becomes very sharp and you can understand the Dhamma. Okay, I think I'll end here. Yeah, invite questions.